Hey everybody, it's Jessica with Life of a Mom. Today I'm going to start my series on surrogacy. I was a surrogate mother between 2014 and 2015. I carried twins as a surrogate mother. We are going to start the series though going over very basic qualification information. I have had like 40 women who are local to my area or who have found me online, message me on Facebook and show interest in becoming a surrogate mother. And the first thing I want to say is that's super amazing. But I know that we have these hearts that want to help people, and sometimes it's just not the right time, or it's not for you, or unfortunately you won't qualify. I knew a lot would go into it when we started looking into surrogacy and what it would mean for me to become a surrogate mother. I always had surrogacy in my heart. I knew before I even married my husband that surrogacy was definitely something that I wanted to pursue in the future. When we had our own children, we knew that we were done. We had our second daughter in January 2013. After her, I was like, this is it for us. Our family is complete. It's time. Nope. Get a tissue, please. Please. Okay. I was like, I know it's time for us to move on in our life and start helping other people achieve their dreams of creating their own families or building upon their own families. So that's why I looked into surrogacy. I started the process in February 2013 after we had our first daughter. Or our second daughter. This is my oldest peeking in. June, go in and play for just a minute, okay? Go. Oh, she's going to sit right behind me. June, come on, honey. Come on, June. And go on. You can sit over here on the couch and watch me. You can get a chair and watch me. Okay, that's what she's going to do. Sorry. I know if you haven't watched the rest of my channel, the videos from the beginning, you're probably like, why didn't she edit her kid out just now? Because the channel is Life of a Mom, and I wouldn't even be here if it weren't for my kids. So I'm not going to edit them out, or me speaking to them, or them interrupting my videos. Here, you can sit right here, and you can watch, okay? Important. Okay. Okay, so I always had a heart for surrogacy. When we started looking into it, I applied with one agency. I went through most of the screening, the application process. I was on the wait list for about 8 months. We got stuck on one portion. We didn't see eye to eye. I wouldn't back up. They wouldn't back up. I left the agency. And I don't think they were very happy. We had lots of emails back and forth, lots of phone calls. I got a bill for some of the testing and the background checks that they did for us. No, you are naked. You cannot get in the video while you're naked. You need to put your clothes on that I laid out for you, please. That's my dinosaur from the other day. They're right there. You can do it.
No. I want my dinosaur costume on.
Let's do it. We're going back into the dinosaur, guys. Don't cough on me, please. Cover your mouth if you cough.
You get my costume on.
I have no idea where your costume is. If you can find it, I'll help you. So, no, don't blow raspberries on my video. And go on, honey.
I cannot see.
I know, it's not a video for Andy right now. It's a video for Mama. So I can help other mommies. I don't even know where I was in this story of my life. Okay. Okay, so I left that agency. It wasn't exactly the clean break that I was hoping for, but I found another agency And I applied with them in December 2013, and I was matched in January 2014. We became really close, I would say. I became close to the women who worked with the agency, the coordinators, the agency owner. I became really close with the intended parents. We didn't transfer until October. It was a long road. It is a long road. Surrogacy is not quick, and it's not something that happens right away. It's not something that you can be like, oh, I want to do this, and 6 months later, you're pregnant, and it's just not how it works. I think the whole process for me was over a year and a half. If you just count the second agency. With the first agency, I would say it was almost two and a half years, a little over 2 years. It's not fast at all. And so much goes into it. There's just the qualifications, which bump so many potential surrogates right out if you can't meet the qualifications. There's med screening. That bumps a lot of people out. There's psych evals. That should probably bump more people out. But it does. It weeds out some potentially bad scenarios in the surrogacy world. If you have seen like Lifetime movies, any like real life surrogate who has been through it and like did it for the right reasons and met all the qualifications, didn't lie about anything. Those Lifetime movies, like, they pull at your heartstrings, because that is not how it is. And that is not how it should be portrayed, because there are so many fantastically smooth surrogacy stories out there that nobody talks about. And it is terrible that we only see the negative light out in society or in the media. But unfortunately, that's what sells, are the bad stories. Which is why some states, it's against the law to carry as a surrogate or to have a surrogate. You can't even be like reimbursed for any expenses or have any kind of compensation in Canada. I know a lot of Canadian surrogates. They can only get reimbursed for certain things. I'm not sure how it is in other parts of the world, because I didn't have an international intended parents. My intended parents were from the U.S. They were super fantastic. They don't live here. They had to move. But I can't give a lot of information about them, and I won't. So you can ask all the questions that you want to about the parents or their babies. I won't answer anything very specific. We're just going to talk about the journey. Let's start with the basic requirements. You have to be over age 21. Did you hear that? 21. You're not going to skirt it. You're not going to trick agencies into thinking that you're old enough if you're not. You have to have had at least one child and be physically and financially raising that child. You have to. They have to know that you're capable of being pregnant, of healthy full-term deliveries, of the emotional state that it would take to physically and emotionally raise a child. That's an absolute given. If you are struggling with infertility and you have a cousin or a friend who has never had kids who offers to carry for you, no, they cannot. They cannot carry for you. I know that's not what you want to hear. They cannot do it. It will not be cheaper for you. They will not qualify. So just stop right there. We'll talk more about people offering to carry as surrogates for people suffering infertility later, because I have a lot to say about it. You have to have a healthy BMI. You cannot be overweight, and you cannot be too far underweight. You have to be in great physical shape. They have to see that you can carry a pregnancy of a singleton or multiples to term, and absolutely to the best of your ability. You have to. You cannot be a smoker. You cannot live in a house with a smoker. You cannot lie to your agency or the reproductive endocrinologist about it. They will find out. They do blood tests. They will find out. You have to have full-term uncomplicated pregnancies and deliveries. You cannot have poor medical histories with your pregnancies and deliveries of your children. You can't. If you have specific reasons in your medical records for any complications that might disqualify you, and they look into it, some agencies or reproductive endocrinologists might approve you to carry as a surrogate under certain situations. Everybody is a little bit different on this. I know that in general, they are very strict. If you had a baby at 30 weeks, you're probably never going to be able to carry as a surrogate. If you had a baby at 34 weeks, you're probably not. If you had severe complications, if you have an incompetent cervix, I'm sorry. I understand where your heart is that you want to do this, but you will not qualify. You won't. You have to be free of STDs. You can't have had an abnormal pap smear. There are some REs who will accept certain things in the past as long as you've had so many clear paps since. My RE didn't. I had to have a history of absolutely nothing abnormal on any pap. They get your medical, like you hand over your medical records to the reproductive endocrinologist. They look through everything. You can't hide anything. Everything is visible, completely visible to them. You cannot be on any government assistance. You must be financially stable to carry as a surrogate mother. It's absolutely a necessity. There's so much that we paid out of pocket for. Yes, we were reimbursed for it, but that's not a fast process. It's not like the intended parents can hand you cash or write you a check, or they shouldn't. Everything goes through an escrow. They put money into an escrow, it clears, escrow pays you, then it has to clear with your bank. Everything's out of state checks with most surrogacy journeys. I mean, unless you have somebody local to you, things might move a little bit faster, but
In my bag.
Andy, please don't get into your Halloween candy right now. Can you give me a few minutes? You and your partner, or in most cases, any adult living in your house, will have to pass a criminal background check. They cannot have a criminal history, felonies. You will not qualify to carry as a surrogate if your partner has a criminal background. They want to make sure the house in which you are growing and protecting their child is absolutely the safest possible environment. You cannot be breastfeeding or lactating. You have to have had so many regular periods since your last birth. You have to be so far postpartum, depending on the RE that your intended parents are working with or that works with your agency. You cannot have any tattoos or piercings within 6 months to a year. I know some REs say 6 months, some say a year. That's for risk of infection, transmission of disease, etc. They want to make sure that you have given your body adequate time to test positive for anything possible that you could have had transmitted to you during a tattoo or piercing. That's kind of a given. Lots of agencies require a surrogate to already have personal, private health insurance that will cover a pregnancy and delivery. Some agencies will help surrogates who are uninsured find insurance, and then the intended parents pay those costs. With the Affordable Health Care Act, there's no reason that anybody out there should not have health insurance right now. If you have private health insurance, they will ask you for your proof of coverages. They will ask you for your booklet to make sure what is covered. You will have to live within so many miles of a hospital that has a level 3 NICU. If you have multiples, twins or triplets, we'll talk more about triplets in another video. If you are a military family of any branch, you cannot carry as a surrogate and use TRICARE. You will have agencies that will probably tell you that that's acceptable, or if you match privately, you will probably have intended parents who are okay with you using TRICARE It is absolutely not okay. Do not try it. Do not lie about it. Do not attempt to do it. Do not believe any agency or intended parent or surrogate, if you're the intended parent, that's fine, who tells you that you can use TRICARE. You cannot use TRICARE. You will have to get different health insurance to cover a surrogacy. Medical evaluations. Mine was done after matching, before contracts. It's done differently with most agencies. It's probably done differently by some REs if you match privately and you decide to go that route. Some medical evaluations have to be done before matching so the agency knows that you will absolutely pass med evals and qualify to carry before they even show your profile to intended parents, or vice versa. I know the intended parents also have to do so much medical testing. There are intended parents who might carry some diseases who you have to sign waivers saying that you're okay carrying their child. The risk of transmission is low in some cases, higher in others. I personally would not sign those papers. I know that there are surrogates out there where the risk is so small that they have carried for people who might be carriers of certain things. I would not. So I know my intended parents had to do a lot of testing in order to use their frozen embryos in a surrogate, to transfer them to a surrogate. The psych evaluation. Mine was done over the phone. If you are local to your agency or intended parents, you might have an in-person psych evaluation with a psychologist that's either on staff with the agency that the intended parents find and pay for. I found my own lawyer who was local to me. I did not let my agency choose my lawyer. I did not let my intended parents choose my lawyer. I chose my own lawyer. My intended parents paid for it, as they should. Intended parents cover all the cost of a surrogacy.
Yes.
Yeah. That is everything on my notes for the basic qualifications.
Yes.
If you feel like you would qualify, I'm more than happy to put you in touch with the agency that I use. These women are super fantastic. They've carried surrogate pregnancies on their own. They understand everything that it involves, which is why I chose them. If you hear some of these things and you're like, oh no, I wouldn't qualify, but I really want to, then you know, you have time. Surrogacy is not going to go anywhere. You definitely have time to switch things around in your life, to get off government assistance, to quit smoking, to lose weight and have a healthy BMI. You have time if you're under 21 to, you know, age a few years, have a child of your own. If you have a newborn and you're nursing, that you're going to have to wait to wean. Surrogacy is not going anywhere. Just because it's not going to happen right now for you doesn't mean that it couldn't happen in the future. Unfortunately, if you have really poor medical records with pregnancies and deliveries, I'm sorry, but it doesn't, I don't think that this is for you. It's not going to be for you. If you have history of, on your medical records, really bad psychological issues. I know some surrogates who have been on like mild antidepressants and still carried. I'm not sure about worse things or history in the family, history in your medical records of worse psychological issues. You're probably not going to pass psych evals. If you have transmittable diseases, if you have STDs, if you have a long history of abnormal paps, if you have incompetent cervix, HIV, hepatitis, I'm sorry, this isn't going to be for you. Those aren't things that you could change for yourself to be able to carry. So I will go into more of a step-by-step of everything that happened in my surrogacy journey in a series of other videos. This was just for people who are interested in the beginning stages of researching surrogacy. Google is an awesome resource. Google is so fantastic. I had so many women contact me who would definitely not meet the requirements, the basic requirements to be a surrogate, who never even Googled. Like, everything I just said, you could find in like a couple minutes on Google search. You could look up a local agency or an agency across the nation, and you could give them a call and spend 10 minutes on the phone, and they can tell you like almost right away if you would qualify or not. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and sign off and get my daughter ready for school. And then I will have this video online by tonight, hopefully. And then I will continue this series along with my other series on my pregnancies and births with my daughters, which is what led me to surrogacy, soon. Thanks. See you in the next video.